I'm Stephen Cooley, and welcome to the Stephen Cooley Real Estate Show. Once again, we've got beautiful homes for sale in your area. We've got all the homes available on our website at stephencooley.com, so definitely visit us on the web. On today's show, we're going to talk with Tracey Reynolds, a local real estate attorney. We're going to talk about the tax-assessed values that we all got in the mail, so you definitely want to stay tuned for that if you're a current homeowner. Please stay tuned. We've got great homes on today's show, and we'll be right back.
This presentation of the Stephen Cooley Real Estate Show is sponsored by South Carolina Bank and Trust. We believe in South Carolina.
Hello, I'm Stephen Cooley, and welcome to the Stephen Cooley Real Estate Show. I'm very excited to have Tracey Reynolds back on the show with us. As you all know, Tracey Reynolds is a local real estate attorney in town and gives us great advice on real estate closings and all the things that involve property. This is my tax notice that just came, and it's letting me know, well, first of all, it's not a tax bill. It's letting us know the assessment and the rate that we're being assessed at. So tell people, all the people who got this, what this means, Tracey.
Well, when you get this notice, it's a notice that comes out every 5 years. In this case, our last reappraisal of our value of properties was in 2005. This is 2011. They did extend for 1 year. And when you get this, you can look at the top, and it will tell you the appraised value that has been given by the tax assessor's office. And then it will also tell you the assessment ratio, 4 or 6%. If it's your primary residence, it should indicate that it's being taxed at an assessment of 4% and not 6%. And that's very important to make sure that that's correct. And then it will total the assessed value.
Absolutely. And let's just point out, if you've bought your home in the last few years since this came out, a lot of people we find every year is being assessed at 6%, and that really doubles your taxes, if not more. When you had that closing, if you didn't have your driver's license changed and you didn't fill out the form and register your cars at this address and fill out the form and send it in, you could very well be assessed at 6%. So big keynote, if it's your primary residence, it should have a 4 here.
Yes, it should have a 4. And we close loans monthly that the individuals have not applied, and it has been several years, thousands of dollars that could have been saved. So make sure to check that assessment ratio. Okay,
great information there. Okay, let's just say that I know that my value is not the current market appraisal that they put on here. It says down here what you should do if you want to appeal that value. Tell folks what that means.
Within 90 days of the date that the notice was mailed by the tax assessor, you must submit in writing your objection to the value or the assessment. If you don't do that within 90 years, then you're not allowed to object for this calendar year.
90 days, right?
90 days. And there's a form on the York County Tax Assessor's website that you can print and complete and send that to them, and that they'll react based on what your objection.
Absolutely. So great information there. So when you get this bill, look at the 4 and the 6%, and then look at the value. And if you feel that that is no longer the value, it's going to tell you what to do. Again, this is not a tax bill, but your tax bill that comes later this year will be based on this information. You've got 90 days to make that change.
Right. That's correct.
Anything else we need to know about this?
I think that just making sure that you're comfortable with the value and understand the value.
Absolutely. And again, checking that 4 and 6%. Let's talk about if people want to give interest in a property to a family member or something like that, and how that can affect this value if you bought your home before 06 and the cap at 15. Tell people what that means.
In 2006, a Reform Act was passed that allowed a value of the property to be reappraised at the time there was a transfer to someone, and there's several exceptions, but primarily someone other than your spouse. So if you give a 1% to your daughter or 1% to your aunt, it's going to cause the tax assessor's office to be able to come out and reappraise your value and take it up to the fair market value. Where that's important is that prior to 2007 sales, there was only the reassessment every 5 years. So, for example, I purchased my home in 2001. So the last time my home was appraised by the tax assessor's office was 2004 for the 2005 bills that were released. I am now capped at a 15% increase in the value of my property. So my house did increase 15%. Right. It did not increase potentially up to the fair market value, but only the 15%. If you purchased your house after 2007, at that point the tax assessor would have come out, looked at what your value is that you sold the property for, and taken it to the fair market value.
Absolutely. And just to talk about the value here again, if there's just one foreclosure, just one short sale in your neighborhood, that doesn't necessarily change your value on here. It's the fair market value, and that's looking at all the comps in your neighborhood, what an appraiser would appraise the home for today.
Right.
So that's a key note there. You just can't base this new value if you think it's lower on one sale.
Right. There are several distressed sales. There's short sale where the seller's allowed to sell the property by the lender for less than what's owed on the property. And there's also foreclosed properties that are purchased at the courthouse, or they were purchased back by the lender and being sold. And lots of times those values are less than the fair market value. So don't let that value that may show up in your neighborhood cause you to think that your property value should be lowered by the tax office to that particular value.
Absolutely. Great information there. When tax bills come out, how about coming back on the show and let's just making sure everybody understands there's tax bill. We'll go over this one more time. But this is your opportunity to dispute the values if you feel that they're not correct.
Right. That's right.
Great information, Tracey. Tracey, you do lots of real estate closings for us. You do all my personal work. You do a flawless job. If you're thinking about buying property, selling property, you definitely need a real estate attorney involved before the closing. Let's tell folks how to reach you, Tracey.
You can reach me at my office at 803-328-0150, and also my website, which has a lot of information about the taxes. It's threynolds.com. And just a note, too, the York County Tax Assessor has a tremendous amount of information on their website. So if you have any questions, they have commonly asked questions. You could go there. It's really good information. They've done a good job with that site.
Fantastic. Thanks for all that great information. We've got beautiful homes on today's show, so please stay tuned for that. We'll be right back.